Welcome to this edition of Whiskey at Work. I get excited for most of these that we do every week. It's always fun to be able to, get paid to drink, which is what we're doing right now. But today's kind of a special day because yesterday, sitting here to my right, Dan Bruner, co-owner of Timmins Market out in the Valley, and a new location coming soon.
Yes, coming soon out in Box Elder.
When is that going to be up and running, ready to go?
Mid-January is what we're looking at right now.
No kidding.
Yep.
You guys just announced that you were going to be doing something like this. Who do you have doing your construction?
Apparently everybody.
Yeah. Well, Matt Construction's doing the work. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. And of course, all the way down there is Rob.
I was excited to hear that Dan was coming too until I found out what we were having.
The reason why I got so pumped for this is because a couple nights ago, little message pops up in my Facebook Messenger, and it's Dan telling me that, hey, we've got a little whiskey you might be interested in. And then, I'm like, well, what could that be? Howler Head. Freaking Howler Head is here in our area right now. Man, you're my hero. I mean, you literally are my hero.
I tried.
So
he fell down on my list.
Hey, but I brought you a present.
He did bring me a present
that
I'm not sharing with Houston.
This was about a year ago. I think I was in Nashville. And you, Dan, had said, hey, if you're going to be down there, go to this little liquor store. Well, not little, but the liquor store down there. What is it?
Barrels and Brews.
And how do you know these guys?
I'd seen them on an Instagram feed and started following them there. And then I was down in Nashville last summer and popped in and talked to the two of the owners at the time. They're no longer with them. But
oh, really?
Yeah,
Those two guys aren't there anymore?
Yeah, they split off and they're working with Nashville Barrel Company now doing like single source barrels of bourbon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after you told me to stop there, I did. And it's a great liquor store because they have a long bar with nothing but samples. You can sample. And like I said, if those guys aren't there anymore, those guys used to go and kind of hand-pick their own stuff, right?
Yeah, that was their specialty. They focus mostly on single barrel, rums, bourbon,
okay,
a little bit of everything. And
all right, and it was neat because you got to go in and then sample all of this stuff. So while I was there, I was walking around the store and I noticed they had a bottle of this Howler Head, and then I saw that it was banana flavored. And my love affair began. I like anything that's banana flavored. Anything.
Rob's going to hate this. Let's buy a bunch.
So I did. I brought some back, and a while ago we did an episode about this. And I found out it was only in, I believe, 2 states around Tennessee. And so I thought, well, this is never going to make its way up here. It just seemed like one of those niche bourbons that, unless it kind of found that screwball train, wasn't going to make it out of its region.
Right.
So how does it end up? How did you guys end up with it, Dan, is what I want to know.
So after I saw the episode, when you guys talked about it, I reached out via their website on their contact us form, and somebody got back a hold of me and said, hey, do you know a distributor that might be interested in carrying it? I sent them 2 different names and kind of thought it had fallen on the wayside and it wasn't going to happen. And then one of the 2 distributors showed up at my store yesterday and said, hey, guess what I have?
And that's it. That's as easy as it gets.
That's what happened.
You know what
I have you 2 to thank for bringing this up here. Is that
basically
almost single doubly handed?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm taking from this story, Rob, is that this is the second flavored whiskey now I have brought into South Dakota.
Let me know when you bring a good one in, and then we'll have a chat.
Dan, you tried this for the first time then when it came in, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts on it when you cracked the seal? And you poured it neat.
I did. I thought it was interesting for sure. Wouldn't be a daily go-to, but it's something that I'm definitely going to have on my home bar just for something fun to share. And
it makes me so happy.
I think it'd be interesting to play around with some cocktails. On their website, they have like a 33-page recipe book of different food and cocktails that you can make with it, which I thought was kind of interesting. Everything from bourbon balls to brownies to different...
Stop looking at me like you're crazy.
You know what we're going to do?
You're going to get your wife to bake something, aren't you?
We're having a spin-off of Whiskey at Work now that is going to be the Howler Head baking show.
Baking with bourbon.
Baking with bourbon. It's perfect.
The only one in this group that knows how to bake anything is your wife.
Well, that's
and I'll trust her.
I think.
But anything you cook, I'm out.
Well, weren't you the one too? Was it you or Ryan that sent me the Instagram post of Dana White? Maybe it was.
Wasn't me.
It was an Instagram post of Dana White on his private jet with some of his fighters, and they said we're heading to wherever to party, and they were holding up 2 bottles of the Howler head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've seen those, but I didn't know it until.
Yeah, those wouldn't have been photoshopped. I thought Dana White had better taste than
they're
that.
not, and I honestly think that I'm sorry, Dana White, Mr. UFC multi-billionaire, we did it first here in the great state of South Dakota.
You make me so sad.
I'm with Dan though. This isn't something you're going to be able to drink every day. But what's so unique about it, and what we talked about when we first got it, is it's a legitimate Kentucky straight bourbon.
Flavored Kentucky straight bourbon. That's what we defined. We figured out after a lot of research how you could add banana flavoring and still be considered a Kentucky straight bourbon. But it says there it's a flavored Kentucky straight bourbon, which apparently is its own made-up category that Howler had got by somebody.
It's going to fight this to the bitter end.
I brought a bottle of this home just because you were so damn excited about it. I thought, oh, maybe my wife would like it. No, turns out girls don't like it either.
I cannot believe that your wife didn't like this. She seemed cool. And then
she is cool. That's the trick. No, I'm not saying Dan's not cool.
What about you?
I am kind of saying you're not cool.
She tried it yet?
I took a bottle home, but we did not open it.
Okay, she hasn't. All right, well, we got to get then her opinion.
Right.
My wife didn't like it either. I guess that's where we'll leave that. But why are
I'm
so
liking
many,
her more.
And I don't know, Dan, if you can answer this question, but why are a lot of these flavored bourbons and whiskeys, why do they stop at 70 proof? Do you know? I mean, is there...
I would speculate that it's... you're a bit of a whiskey purist, and I am too. I mean, this, again, is not going to be something I'm going to go to quite often.
Right.
And I prefer higher proof. If I'm going to do something like this, I want it to be something that's just easier on the palate, a little bit smoother, if you will. And so I think that's probably why it's lower proof.
Is this lower proof?
It's 80.
Yeah, it's 80.
Right.
It's not like the Jack Apple and the cinnamon.
Well,
I mean,
that's
those
kind
come
of
in
what
at
I'm
70.
thinking of.
The peanut butter
Right.
comes in at 70.
Yeah,
right?
almost all of those flavored whiskeys come in at 70 proof. And that's why this was so unique to us, because it's an 80 proof Kentucky straight bourbon.
Well, because it has to be 80 proof to be
Right.
a bourbon.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So now with your new store that's going out in Box Elder, Dan, are you gonna have a liquor department in it as well? I'm assuming.
Yep, we are.
It's going to be out on the base or out at Box Elder. It's going to be the biggest part of the store.
Now, size-wise, how's it going to compare to what you guys have in the Valley?
So the total store is about 13,500 square foot. Our current store's just a little over 18,000. But because of the way this new building's laid out, it's completely open. It's span construction, no support beams. So we were actually able to get about 78% of the linear feet in the same building. So it's going to be a great little location, specialize in meat and produce, and then the liquor footprint will be just about the same as what we have at our current location.
Are you guys going to do anything different with the liquor department, like something unique here and something unique here, or are you guys going to try to keep it generally pretty close to what you do now?
Pretty close. We'll still focus very heavily in American whiskey and bourbon. We will probably have a little bit more of an expanded Scotch selection out there, just with the proximity to the base. We feel like we'll have more of a clientele for that out there
absolutely.
than we do in the Valley right now.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite Scotch, Dan? Is there something you go to Scotch-wise, or you...
See, this is where he climbs back up my list.
I prefer to keep my Band-Aids on my fingers.
Oh, no. All right, fine.
Refer to one of the episodes about a year ago where that is how we defined
Right. Well, it was actually with Big Whiskey in Deadwood is where we first came across that Band-Aid moniker for some of those scotches up there.
Oh my.
Well, Dan, I'm so excited that you have some of this in your store, and I hope it does well, and I hope it leads you to keep it there. So if you sell a whole bunch, then you're going to get a whole bunch more, right?
In all honesty, I do think that this will be a good seller, and I do think it will have a market. It's not my personal taste, but now that there's two of them, I can't be right, I guess, but I do think, and I hope that it's a great seller for you as well, because I do think it will be popular. As much as I don't like the peanut butter stuff either,
Right.
somebody does, and apparently there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and but you have to do it right because there's the knockoffs. You know, Screwball came in, and then you've got all your other peanut butter knockoffs, and I mean honestly, they're not as good. They don't. It's either being first to the market, I think, but you have to be first and good at the same time,
Right?
Or it's not going to matter. And I think Howler Head has nailed it with their flavor.
How long is it going to be before bars start making the Elvis Presley, the peanut butter banana?
Well, we're going to do it now. Copyright Whiskey at Work. You can't have it.
The peanut butter nanner sandwich.
That's right.
Dan, thanks so much for stopping down, man. And
Absolutely.
again, Timmins Market is out in the valley, and they do. If you're looking for bourbon and American whiskey, go talk to these guys too. I mean, if you're in the store wandering around, Dan will definitely have a conversation with you about what he's got on his shelves and what he really, really likes too. So check him out.
You generally have a bottle of stuff open if people want to try stuff too, don't you?
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yep. I would say one of our specialties is our barrel picks. We've picked over the last 2.5 years 5 different barrels that we've actually received. We have one more in progress right now, a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. We liked 2 of them, so we bought both of them. One's here, one's on the way. But
Awesome.
yeah, all of our store picks that we still have available, we've got the 1792 full proof, an Old Forester, and then the first of the 2 Jack Daniel's picks that we called the Oak Bomber. Those are all available, and I always have bottles open up in the office. If you wanted to stop by and try a sample, I'd be happy to share it with you.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Dan, for stopping down, man.
Yep,
we
thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it. You bet. Check it out. It's Howler Head. It's Monkey Spirit, and you can get it right now, at Timmins Market out in the valley. Rob,
Yeah. Stag Junior.
thanks so much for watching.